Welcome to Women Let's Talk. I'm Yvonne. Today we're going to continue the topic discussion on self care. When is it your turn? On last week, I mentioned 5 simple self care practices that we as women can do to help transform our lives for more balanced living. First, I mentioned that we can set limits. Secondly, tell the truth. Thirdly, we are to avoid wishy-washy language. Fourth, don't open up your decisions for debate. And fifth, don't be afraid to say no, giving that absolute no. Today, let's talk on practice number 1, setting limits, having boundaries. Having boundaries help us create ownership and protection of ourselves. Boundaries are more personal security. For most people are very aware of boundaries for material objects, yet struggle to realize the importance of implementing emotional, physical, spiritual, and mental boundaries for self. How many of us have never known the rules of personal well-being and how not to allow life and others to intrude, steal, or damage our personal power? How many of us have never known how to respect others' boundaries and simply thought we were doing the right thing? How many of us have been damaging ourselves and others simply because we haven't understood the ownership and stewardship that every individual has over the possession of his or her own life? Ladies, owning the responsibility of creating and enforcing our own boundaries, it's no one else's job but our own. If we're confused about our ownership and boundaries of self, it's quite logical that others are going to be just as confused about where our boundaries do or do not lie. This confusion can create great pain and even can be devastating. By having a healthy, functioning boundary, we know when to open and close the door to the healthy or unhealthy, good and bad decisions and choices that we are subject to make. Now, for a moment, let's talk a bit about the activating boundary doors. Just how do we activate our door correctly? Well, we activate our door correctly by using the words and actions that simply state yes to open the door and the words and actions that simply state no to close it. Our door is suffering enormous security breaches if we say yes when we really feel no. And it's jammed when we say no to the things that we really desire to say yes to. How do we know when our boundary door is malfunctioning? It's simple. We know that it's malfunctioning when we may feel broken, maybe even lonely, angry at times, distressed, victimized, or anxious, when we feel unsupported, exhausted, and sometimes just empty. Creating boundaries, ladies, is not about convincing someone else to behave in a way that you think they should towards you. It's about you behaving in the manner you want your life to go. That concludes our subject discussion for today. I do ask that you please post your comments and submit your questions. I will follow up with responses to your questions during the next video session. So women, until next time, here's to a cup of joy for you.